Erica Show. In today's episode, we'll learn about a very new project, very exciting, called Distrikt. I'm joined by Andra, the co-founder of Distrikt. Distrikt is a decentralized social media network powered by Difinity. Andra, welcome to the show.
Bye. Hi, Erica. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being
here. Very excited to be here.
Yes, very exciting to have you here. Before we go in, could you give us a brief introduction of, who you are and what you're working on currently, and just, I wanted to get to know you better.
Yeah, so my name is Andra Georgescu. I am the co-founder of Distrikt. I've been working with startups for about 8 years now. And Distrikt is a new project. We started it at the beginning of this year, and we moved pretty fast because we're launching soon. I've been in the blockchain crypto universe since 2017, and I'm part of the Dokia Capital team.
Right. I think that's how we got acquainted. But it's great to connect, definitely. And I'd love to hear your story on you mentioned about the startups, but how it led you to this current rabbit hole, and how you fell in love with crypto. But what led you to this this current journey, basically. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. So I stumbled across the Bitcoin white paper late 2017, and then I binge read everything I could find about blockchain and crypto. And even though I'm not a technical person, I've always loved understanding how systems work and how humans work together. So Bitcoin really blew my mind once I understood all its implications and how it fundamentally changes the way we transact and coordinate.
Yeah.
Ethereum was the next obvious rabbit hole. I even attempted to make a well-being platform on Ethereum, in a way trying to mix my digital passion with my real-life passion. In the end, it didn't materialize into the decentralized product initially envisioned, but I learned a lot about the unique possibilities that Ethereum offered, as well as its limitations. And my next foray was into the Cosmos ecosystem. So as a member of the Dokia Capital team, I've also been part of their journey for 2 years now. So that's where I first learned about Difinity. And Distrikt happened, well, we initially knew about LinkedUp. 1 second. So we initially knew about LinkedUp as a demo app that the Difinity Foundation put out to show the capabilities of the internet computer. It really seemed to stand out to us among their other demo apps. We knew that users wanted a better alternative to the current professional social media options, and we saw a lot of potential in developing LinkedUp further. So this idea kind of merged within Dokia Capital, as Aurel, my co-founder, and myself are part of the team there. But it became its own standalone project when Aurel decided to invest in it and set up a dedicated team. And that's when we approached Vidor, our CTO, who joined us immediately. And then Vidor got together, put together our team, our dev team in Belgrade, and I did the same with our design and operational team here in Bucharest. So in just a few weeks, we were already designing and developing the product. This happened in January and early February.
Wow.
So our team right now is divided between Romania, Serbia, and Switzerland, where we're setting up a not-for-profit foundation that will be managing Distrikt. So in Romania, we have our design team that's led by Cassandra, our head of design, and our operational team and communications. And in Serbia, we have the development team that's spearheaded by Vidor. And in Switzerland, we have Robert, our head of product, and the Open Internet Foundation. So that's our structure right now.
Wow. Wow, it's very global. I know about Dokia Capital because Dokia Capital did sponsor a few of my events, which I'm very thankful for. But yeah, I've been very well connected with Aurel and the whole team. So again, I'm very happy to get acquainted more and to learn more about Distrikt because it is an up and coming, really fast moving product, and I think a lot of people are very excited because it is a very innovative tool built on Dfinity. So in your own words, how would you introduce Distrikt? Put it simply, what core problem is it trying to solve?
So Distrikt is a decentralized professional social media network that empowers users to own and control their identity. So as a Distrikt user, you will own your data and your identity. You don't have to be the product just to enjoy a product. Mm-hmm. And as a user of Distrikt, you also participate in governance and become an active decision maker on the platform because it was created with a focus on user-centric design, and Distrikt will always put the user's needs first. Mm-hmm. So the problem that it's trying to solve is the way it's actually trying to change the way that a social media network relates to its users. So until now, users were a pretty passive product that social media networks leveraged for profit. And giving the massive value that a user brings to a social media platform, we don't think that that's an appropriate way to relate to your user. And so by making it all about the user, by having this project managed by a not-for-profit foundation, so obviously it cannot change its purpose, it cannot be bought, it cannot dramatically pivot into another thing. It's much more trustworthy. And on top of that, it also offers a level of security and privacy mm-hmm. that will make users more comfortable using the product that they are right now with using products like LinkedIn that have major data leaks that end up on the dark web and put users in danger, and the whole narrative around that is so worrisome, and we see users begin to become aware of the value of their data, the dangers that it possesses, the fact that it needs to be it needs to have certain security systems set in place in order for a user to feel safe. We saw it with a bunch of data leaks in all industries, not only social media, even with Ledger, where people were very concerned. And that happens in centralized systems mm-hmm. a lot, not really on a blockchain. So the same security that your assets benefit from, so you have all your crypto and you make sure that it's also all secure, the same level of security will be applied to your account and to your identity on Distrikt. And we believe that's a pretty powerful shift. So this combined with the fact that you are an active participant into the network, you are not being monetized, it's a pretty strong value proposition. But we're very much aware that this strong value proposition is appealing more initially to those that are aware and sensitive to these types of things. So to the crypto community, to the IT community, mm-hmm. And when we branch out into more of a mass adoption mm-hmm. type of scenario, then we need to make these benefits super clear and intuitive to the user and not expect them to fully understand the complexity of the system that's being developed, but just make sure that they understand that this is a place where they have power and that this is a place where they are safe.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you touched upon so many important concepts in this answer, but yeah, I really do think that, this value proposition is super important. And I think it's one of the major, problems that a lot of the blockchain projects are trying to solve. Yeah, I mean, thank you for that. And I mean, it is, I think, as you mentioned, LinkedIn is definitely something that you could say like a competitor or some, comparable platform that you want to kind of, I guess, to overcome the limitations of, like, in terms of like the data leaks and so forth. So it is very intuitive, I think, for people to understand what your project is all about. When we, put our the interview, I guess that we're going to have the interview plan on Twitter, one of the questions was, what is the scope of the app? I think a lot of people are curious, like what it includes, and in terms of like, does it only involve social networking or and more than that? As LinkedIn, maybe it involves career related aspects. What do you think about that?
Well, we have had a lot of interesting decisions to make regarding the product.
Yeah.
And a lot of opportunity, because we could look at traditional social media networks, see where they got it wrong and choose to keep it, and then see where they didn't get it wrong and choose to innovate or dramatically change or even remove altogether. So one of the things that's more basic, but maybe a good intro to this, is how we approach the user profile, which is not a resume like LinkedIn does, where you have, a chronological order of your studies, degrees, and something very formal.
Right.
But more in the sense of having projects and milestones and achievements. So users on Distrikt, when they fill out their profile, they will be able to say, so I've been part of the Dokia, I'm part of the Dokia Capital team, and I'm also co-founding Distrikt. And one of the achievements that I am proud to be a part of at Dokia is the fact that we did the Spread the Atom campaign, which I've really enjoyed and I take pride in. So I put that as an achievement in my work in 2020. But while I'm at Distrikt, right, co-founding and building Distrikt, I can say that a big milestone is that we launched the MVP, and I'll add that. But I don't see the point in adding the fact that I graduated from high school then and got a degree then and stuff like that. I mean, there is a point, but in general, but not sure that Distrikt as a social media, that it is its spirit. It's more about, a practical approach. Another thing is that even though we're going to develop Distrikt incrementally and like launch an MVP and then quickly add new features, the ultimate vision is that Distrikt becomes a community building app. So it's called Distrikt because you will be able to create your own district on top of this platform. So this could be the crypto district that's super broad for our industry, or it could be the, Difinity district, or it could be the design district. And these are autonomous groups that can set up their own governance rules, and they can manage themselves in whatever way they see fit. We just build them the tools to do so. So we see communities emerge, collaborate, merge together, or branch out, depending on how granular you want to go, in the way that these communities often do in real life. So we think that the internet computer is very well suited to provide this complex level of coordination and communication between communities.
And I think about it, how LinkedIn has the pages for certain companies, right? And certain, like, I guess, organizations. But I guess you're trying to say that it is more than that, and that it kind of actually communicates amongst each other, right? In the form of districts. Am I like touching that right? That's the right approach?
It's a group. So it's not a page, it's a group of people that revolve around their profession or hobbies or values. So these groups, when they're created, they can start small, but then as they evolve, they're going to need more complex set of rules, and they're going to need to govern themselves, and their relationship to Distrikt will be more clearly, more clearly, how can I say that, defined in the sense that they will be able to say, okay, so district, you have this set of rules when it comes to governance, but we choose to add like 3 more things that we consider are super relevant for our particular community. So maybe a medical district requires you to have a medical degree in order to join that district and contribute to the community. Stuff like that, which obviously the district platform itself won't be providing at a general purpose level.
Great. Okay, so for users that are using District, that have applied to District, and what administrative powers will they have? I think you touched upon this a little bit previously, but can you elaborate more on like how, what administrative powers they will have, and will users have any incentive in using District, like, you know, Reddit's Karma, because, you know, it kind of reminds me of that kind of system in terms of governance and stuff like that.
So in terms of governance, users will be able to make proposals, vote on them, and, you know, go through the, I think we've already used to this type of governance in the sense of we see a proposal made, we vote for it, and the weight of our vote is directly proportional to the amount of tokens that we have staked in the system. So this is something that District will be adopting. And when it comes to points and incentivization, you will be able to have that type of incentive regarding engagement in the platform and be able to exchange the points for District tokens. So we will be publishing our token economics paper shortly. We're in the final stages of pinning down the details, but we have a system of incentivizing engagement, content creation, and moderation, which is something that in a decentralized social network is very important, because we do not have a centralized figure that will be calling the shots in terms of what's appropriate and what is not for the District community. So we rely on the community to do so, but this is actually work. It's hard work to review content and reports and stuff like that. So we need to make sure that this activity is well incentivized and also well proportioned so not overly incentivized. It's a delicate balance we've found.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you for okay. And I think you mentioned before that, you know, about the data protection. I mean, that's a huge issue when it comes to, like, you know, any type of service that, you know, the blockchain service is trying to solve. But for District, is there something like extra that you know, you can assure, like data protection for the users, or any, you know, any measures that you're thinking of?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the internet identity that is provided by the internet computer that District is built upon. So usually in a data leak, what's leaked is sensitive information such as your email address or phone number or physical address and whatnot. What other information you provided when you signed up in order to create your account. But with the internet identity, you don't need to provide all this information. And as people that have already reserved their account, right now I think 17,500 people have already reserved their account on District.
Wow.
And they did so by using the internet identity.
Yeah.
And so they can sign up and log in just using biometrics or a YubiKey, and that adds a level of security that, so we don't have what data to leak. basically that's where I'm getting at.
Absolutely. I think that's probably why you chose Dfinity as your platform. But I'm very curious, like, how did you get, I mean, you mentioned how you got acquainted with Dfinity, but what made you really choose that platform and believe in the system? Because it is definitely, I think, one of the first, first major apps that are building on Dfinity. And I think people are astounded by it, the fact that it's already in its MVP status. So very curious on how that journey began in the first place.
Yeah, so the internet computer actually is a very exciting technology for us. The more we develop on it, the more we get more excited about what the future of District will look like. Because it allows platforms like District to be a part of an ecosystem in which they can thrive as decentralized systems directly on the internet. And that means that they are free from any dependence on proprietary systems, won't face platform risk, which is especially important in the context of launching autonomous software. So basically, Amazon cannot decide that District is inappropriate and just take it down. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And also, it's a very smooth development process. So it's similar to how you would build on traditional legacy IT. So it's more familiar to developers in some cases. So the fact that Dfinity removes a huge layer of complexity that currently lies between builders and users and between developers and the end goal that they're trying to achieve is a huge value proposition for us. It's also great that what the internet computer does is allow users to go on these platforms and use them without requiring any tokens, or you don't even need to know that you're on the blockchain.
Right.
So you can just use District like you would use any other platform, and don't need to have a wallet. You don't need to, keep keys and manage them and have all this additional layer of complexity in terms of UX. So yeah, we found that for mass market open services and products like District, the internet computer is a great fit. But we're by no means the first platform to launch. We also already there's Discover, I think that's like a Reddit type of platform. And they have a lot of users already, tens of thousands. Also OpenChat, that's an instant messaging service that has over 20,000 users. Wow. So things on the internet computer are developing very quickly, and the community of developers is really great. We help each other a lot in finding solutions and launching fast. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I should definitely look more into it. It just seems like that space is also exploding in terms of the ecosystem. So very exciting. I think one user was asking, is it going to be a free application or not? Do you have an answer for that? Yeah.
Yes. District will be free.
Ooh.
Yes.
Awesome.
It will. We are making sure of it. Yeah, there's nothing complicated. It will be free. You won't. It will have its own native token, but you can use it without the token. It's not mandatory for you to access the platform. It is a tool for you to be an active participant, but not gatekeeping.
Right.
Access.
That's a good point. Thank you for telling us that. And for the target audience, of course, I mean, I think first it will be the crypto enthusiasts, who'll be excited to try out new things related to the blockchain. And then, as you explained before, it will probably expand to the mass, right? And I think one of the major problems, or one of the major, obstacles that we have to overcome is like how to approach the mass with our applications in terms of the blockchain, and how to make the hurdle much lower for the mass, right? It's a long way to go, but do you have maybe an idea of how to target the mass beyond the crypto enthusiasts?
Well, if it's something that DeFi has taught us lately is that incentivization is a powerful tool.
It is.
So we plan to allocate a lot of our efforts and resources in incentivizing user adoption, user onboarding, and user retention. So making sure that people are aware of Distrikt, that they try it out, it's critical, and it's a very big step outside of the crypto sphere. Other than that, education is also an effort that we plan to invest in. So not necessarily marketing per se, because it is, I believe that the way you communicate information and educate people, especially in the blockchain space, has become marketing, but that's not really marketing. Marketing is about sales, and making sure you end up selling something. So I wouldn't call it marketing, but an awareness campaign, and making sure that people understand the differentiator of Distrikt and the positioning of Distrikt, and that it's not just a new place where you can make groups. Although it's a lot more. So these two things, if done correctly and well aligned together, I think can provide a very powerful thing in terms of user adoption outside of the crypto bubble. And the crypto bubble is also expanding. So of course, not everybody understands all the technicalities of blockchain, but you don't need to know how your operating system works in order to enjoy your iPhone. So in the same sense, people that don't understand how blockchain works are still interacting with NFTs, are interacting with cryptocurrencies, and this bubble is expanding every day. So I think the challenge that we have in front of us is way more doable, to say it like that. It's like it's not gonna be easy, but it's totally doable, and we can do it. And the level of awareness that we have now is way better than we would have in 2018 when I tried to do a decentralized platform on top of Ethereum, and I was like, maybe not now, maybe not. In a few years. In a few years, and look where we are right now, where everybody has heard about cryptocurrency, even though not everybody maybe interacts with it. I mean, I get a lot more questions about it, that's for sure.
Same here. That's a great point. I mean, it's not even a bubble now. I think it's here for good, and I think people recognize that, and the pool of people that recognize this movement is growing day by day, as you mentioned. So I also 100% agree with your opinion. So that's great to hear. So I believe the project is just about to release this MVP. It's super exciting for the project, and I'm sure you're very busy and tired, but how is that going? It is definitely fastly moving. What are, some of the main points that are focused on at the moment? Just curious about your current status of the project.
Yeah, so we're super close to the launch.
Yay!
It's so exciting, but at the same time, there's always last minute things that get you really anxious. But we plan to launch at the latest the 1st of August. So that's really around the corner.
It is.
And the version that we launch is an MVP version. Initially, we wanted to launch something a lot more complicated, as any startup team does. But then we realized that we're overly complicating a product and should prioritize launching faster and then iterating fast along the way. So right now, in this MVP version, users will be able to claim their account with their internet identity that they used to reserve the account, or create an account if they haven't already. Then, create their profiles, upload a profile photo, choose from preset cover photo illustrations for now. add friends, search for users and hashtags, publish written posts using hashtags, tag other users, like, comment, engage on posts, and report and give feedback. Also, they can keep up to date with Distrikt by updates that will go through the app. But then just weeks after, we plan to add media content, so you will be able to add a photo to your written post, and you can upgrade the profile and add experiences and milestones and cover photos that are your own and not chosen from our illustration. And then also by the end of this year, you will have the ability to create and publish medium-like articles within the platform.
Oh.
So you will have, iterate fast.
Wow.
So you will have an article composer and publisher, and also you will be able to access the content discovery feature, and will enhance scalability as a whole. So just for the span of 1 year, since we decided to work on this, and until the year ended, I think we're gonna launch what would be considered a full-featured general purpose with a professional approach, social media network. And then 2022 is when things will get really exciting, because we start working on Distrikt, and we start engaging the community, because we need a lot of feedback from them, and we convert Distrikt into an open service, which means that we will have governance and it will be decentralized, and things will, I think, the direction that things will go through after 2022 is totally up to the community. We will be there to offer support and make sure we implement what we promised, and even more so. But we are very keen on setting up mechanisms that ensure that Distrikt will be community governed, and users do feel empowered to decide, but also a responsibility to decide, because it's their product too.
Sure. Wow. What a milestone. I mean, such major milestones for 2021. I mean, we're almost halfway there, but and 2022. So very exciting. Many things to build, but wow, I'm very
well, we
amazed.
do have a great team. I'm very grateful for this team. We work really hard, and we work well together. And much of the things that I've said that we're going to develop, we're already working on it. I mean, it's not going to be we launched the MVP and now we're going to start working on articles.
It's already.
It's like we've already been going through all of this. So because we wanted to make sure that we're ready to deliver fast, because people and because we communicated from the beginning that this is what we're trying to do. So
wow,
expect a bit of chaos, but also I mean, I do expect it, and our users should expect it, but also I expect a lot of hard work and things to be delivered.
Of course. I mean, I think for every product, there are tumbles and, rumbles, but, at the end of the day, I think it's improving day by day. So I'm very excited to see that progress. Yeah, very exciting. I'm sure you're going to tackle like all markets in the end of the, end of the day, but, in the beginning of like this, I guess promotion or education or, I guess target market, I would say. Is there any market that you're concentrated on in the beginning stage, or just curious, because I'm, in Asia, so I just want to see if, you're interested at all.
Yes, we are going a bit broad with our geographical targeting. We don't have a plan to focus on, the States or Europe or Asia or something, but we do focus on industries. So we realized that the product we're building will be more appealing to a certain industry, starting with the tech industry and then the business industry, startups, the industries that are more open to technological innovation will definitely embrace us faster. So, and these industries that we're starting off our network effect in are not necessarily hyper localized. So the tech industry is very international. Startup industry, also the community is all over the globe. We're very fortunate in that sense to have a product that will appeal more to communities that are international than hyper-local communities that will access a bit, that would have been a bit difficult to start with. It's not going to be difficult along the way, but to kickstart, we're in a very fortunate place. So accessing these types of communities and micro communities will be, the Kickstarter that sets off our user adoption. We're obviously targeting people that produce content in their profession, in their industries, or that are interested in consuming original content, that are interested in having a discourse and talking about things, right? So active members.
Right.
And we do have people in our community that have been screaming for such a product on crypto Twitter, that have written extensive Twitter threads that could easily transform into district threads by the end of this year, or articles in District instead of Medium. Because not only is it decentralized and secure, it's also not gatekeeping in any way regarding the internet and the user. And it also empowers the content creator and incentivizes them.
Right.
So I think it's a win-win. And with a clear and simple communication style, we'll get to where we want to go.
Great. Currently, where do you communicate with your potential users or your community right now? Is Twitter for Asian community who is curious about using District, where should they go to?
So they can find us on Twitter. We're responsive and active. They can find us on Telegram. We have our official Telegram group. They can find us on Discord. We have a server there. And we also have an open chat group that's another platform that lives on the internet computer. That's the instant messaging platform. They can also find us there. So these are the three, fast real-time communication platforms that you can find us easily.
Great.
And you'll probably be talking to me.
Great, good to know. So for Asian, who's probably watching this show or curious about using District, they can definitely tap into those communities and channels. So good to know about that. So it's a big question, but what is your ultimate vision for a District? It is a lot of things are going to go on with District, but want to just hear your ultimate goal or a picture for the product.
Well, our vision is to have District like the ultimate community building platform for professionals, and not only. You could the level of autonomy and sovereignty that you will have as a community on District, I think, is unprecedented. The fact that you will be calling the shots, you will be making the rules, and even determine how you want to interact with the District platform or the other communities. I think that is the ultimate vision, and that is a very powerful thing, because you could create your own little social media network on top of this social media network. So like, we build on top of the internet computer an influencer in the startup world or whatever in the design community could create their own little platform on top of District. Right. And giving them this freedom and a lot, like building the tools that allows for this to happen, I think is a great goal to have.
Absolutely. Maybe CryptoSoul can have its community there. Who knows?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Yeah, it is. I mean, community building tools are definitely the future. I think it is one thing that's really lacking in this space. So I'll be very looking forward to the tool sets that are gonna build there. And, I think the community response will be great. So very
tokenization of these communities is also it's an amazing opportunity to innovate, because you could have a token for the design districts that you can purchase in order to buy services or logos or stuff like that. And this empowers people to be more self-reliant and trade amongst themselves and create their own little economy.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. My last question is more of a general question, but as you've been in the space for some time, and you've seen the progress of the space that you mentioned about DeFi and how people are knowing about it more and more, NFTs as well. How do you see the general blockchain ecosystem looking like in several years? I guess that does also correlate with Distrikt, but love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, after building on the internet computer, my vision about this is that in a few years, people will not realize that they're interacting with websites that are on the blockchain. They will the blockchain will be a lot like the internet.
Yep.
And people will be using it and enjoying it without it being, cumbersome in any way. Just access like a regular internet user and also get all the benefits from the blockchain network. So the added layer of security and decentralization, it's permissionless, censorship resistant, everything. And in a way better user experience. So if I see something that the blockchain space itself should have improved and focused on, and that it's finally happening, is offering a seamless, intuitive user experience to people that see it as a big barrier to entry, technologically speaking. So my dad, for instance, if I give him a wallet right now to use, even now with great user experience products, I think it's too much for him.
Right.
But if I give him a link to Distrikt and say, here, you can access this, like a regular website, and you just use your biometrics, so your face recognition or your fingerprint scan to access it. And you don't have to remember passwords because your face is the same and your fingerprints are the same. And this for him is a great thing, because he suddenly doesn't feel like it requires, an intensive crash course just in order to log into his account. So this is what I see, like a huge improvement in years to come. No more cumbersome user experience, just smooth interaction with blockchains.
Right. Thank you for that, because I also agree. It is the most important thing. I mean, I think for the ecosystem to thrive, and I really hope for the best for Distrikt. And I would love to see many communities building on Distrikt and thriving. So looking forward to your project. Yeah, and thank you so much for being on the show. If people have some questions or they want to use the Distrikt, you can also check out all the channels. So yeah, thank you so much.
And you can also still reserve your account. You have another week of reserving your account. It's distrikt.io.
Okay.
Distrikt with a K, and yeah, go get it.
Yay! Yes, let's sign up and go get it. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show, and good luck.
Thank you, Erika. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.